It's beginning to look a lot like winter everywhere I look. Welcome to the 10 Acre Woods. My name's Mark, and as you can see, winter is finally upon us. At least the snow is, anyway. So we were pulling the pump out of the pond. We had it recirculating, thinking that we could have it open all winter. But that wasn't the case. The ice is already about 2.5 inches thick on the pond. So we pulled that out this morning. And something else exciting was we got recognized as the Small Business of the Year. We got an award from the arm of Springfield, the rural municipality of Springfield, the Chamber of Commerce. So it's wonderful to see that people are enjoying what we do and we're getting recognized it. So I thank you. We're going to go in the barn and out to the back area and talk about some sheep. Okay. It's a little loud in here. We have this fan installed up here blowing onto the door to keep air movement from the door to stop it from icing up in the wintertime. So just having that air movement, just a little drafty when you walk by it. Okay, so sheep. So we have one of the sheep in here, and this is Bronwyn. Hi, Bronwyn. Bronwyn came in this past summer, and there was some, of course, concern about her horns here. Now, there's been a couple comments that, you know, keep an eye on that, and we will be. So we just want to make sure that it's not going to curl around into her jaw here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, and if necessary, trim it. Trim the ends off. Now, I don't know if they're still growing. Bronwyn is a Dorper cross, and you can see her little tail hanging down. Now, a Dorper sheep is a haired sheep, but of course she appears to be crossed with something else as well, but she has a hair tail. So on sheep that have wool, the farmers, the breeders will crop the tail because it can cause a problem with their bum getting dirty and the tail blocking it off. But with haired sheep, that is not a concern. Now, Bronwyn, when she came in from another farm that had a few larger rams, and she was in with those rams. So Bronwyn is pregnant, and we brought her inside because she's expecting. Well, we're not sure exactly when she's expecting, but she's starting to get larger. And the farm that has the other sheep that were likely bred around the same time, they said they're starting to show signs of little ones. So Bronwyn has been getting quite a bit better. She was very scared. You know, when you get these sheep that were just herd animals at a farm, they don't get a lot of contact. So she has been doing very well with us. And from what I understand, she has had some hard labors in the past, and that's why she is no longer going to be bred. But unfortunately, she was bred this year. So hopefully all will go well with Bronwyn, and we'll have a cute little lamb or two coming up. Since I'm in the barn, I figured I might as well give you a quick little tour here on my way back out. So Fernando is inside. So he's in here with, well, a couple chickens and a few rabbits here. Now these are the boy rabbits. We also brought Drake in. Drake is a Muscovy duck, and they need to be in a warmer environment, so we brought them inside. We also brought the Guineas in, and that was something I did mention, or I didn't mention in one of the last videos, the types. So this is a pearl-colored Guinea, probably because of all the little white dots. It's really the darker and the light. Looks like little pearls. And these ones here are lavender, which I know the color lavender and that's not the color, but there's got to be some other reason why they call it a lavender. And then we have the two of the Sarama roosters. Hi, this is Zeus. Oh, yes. And of course Sheldon. Hi, Sheldon. Are you hanging out in there with Henry? Henry the rooster? You are? Yes. And that's Lucy there. So, people have mentioned about Lucy, about putting the two of them in together. And we want to do that. It's just Lucy can be a little pushy sometimes. So we'll have to keep an eye on them and make sure that she's not bullying little Sheldon. Right, buddy? Yeah. Okay, let's go out and see some sheep. Okay, here we are. Oh, and something that we did before I get to that is at the end of last week's video, these boys here came in. Yes. And we did let the ponies in as well.
I thought it would actually be difficult to get them in here. Oh, see, now I don't have to worry about water or anything as long as I can keep it. As long as there's no booting around. I'd like to have them back here.
You're going in the back. Of course, the dogs are barking at them. So we want to make sure that everybody is in, not only for, for them to enjoy each other and to be a herd. It makes it a lot easier in feeding and watering the animals. So we did let them in last weekend. Now, everybody here is relaxing. We have Shanzi here, and Paula and Barry sitting down. But the sheep, so where. Okay, so how we tell the difference between these sheep. They are a Canadian Arcot sheep, and they have a nice, beautiful wool coat, which we shear in the springtime, and then we do classes during the wintertime to try to use that, to try to get down into the, the old-fashioned way. So this here is Lambert. So Lambert, I can tell it's Lambert because he doesn't have any spots on him, on his face like Tinker does, and he doesn't have a tag here like Turbo does. So he was one of two that a family had, and they lost one of them. So he was the lone survivor, and the family was concerned about him. So that was probably about 4 years ago, because it was around the same time that Lucy was born. I think it was the summer or fall when Lucy was born. So he's about 4 years old, and they get sheared every spring. So when we collect their wool, and we'll be doing some stuff with that this winter. So that is Lambert. Now, moving along here, this here is Tinker. And Tinker has the spots on her face. Yes, and she's a little bit smaller, aren't you? Yes, and they just love affection. They love to be scratched and just rubbed. They would probably love it if we were out here all the time giving them attention. So Tinker and Turbo, which I'm assuming this is Turbo here. Yes, it is, because there is his tag. Hi, Turbo. Turbo was named Turbo because he was so fast to the bottle. And even at this age, which he is, he's about 3 years old, I guess now. 2.5, 3 years old. He is still pretty rambunctious and gets into trouble. Now, the two of them were from a farm, and what had happened was they were a failure to thrive. So they came in, Turbo I think had a red number on his back, which was 253 if I recall correctly. And what that means is the color is one of the parents and the number refers to the other parent. Now, they weren't going to make it in the field. You can see he does have his tag, so he was a herd animal on a farm. Tinker, well, Tinker's over there. Tinker does not have her tag anymore, and she actually has a little spot in the ear where it's ripped, where they put the tag in, but it was too close to the edge and it kind of fell out. So you can see Turbo is chewing his cud, just like a goat. They have a rumen type stomach. So he's now on his downtime, relaxing and chewing. Processing that food. Right, buddy? Yeah. So is Lambert. Lambert's processing. He's just standing up doing it. Hi, you want some affection? Oh, yes, you do. You just love it. You can just feel their energy. They're wonderful animals. Hey? Oh, and then Grumpy. So here's Grumpy and Grumpier. The two pot-bellied pigs. Okay, I'm sorry. Don't want to disturb you. And who is this here? So this little boy came in this past summer, and this is Hannibal. Hannibal Lecter, or Hanny. Yes, and he, of course, had a mate called Clarice, and she passed away. So he was getting depressed. He loves attention and he loves to be around people and other animals. So the owners decided to give us a call and find out that maybe Hannibal could come over. So he is an older sheep. I think the family that had him was the second, possibly even the third family that had him. Now he has a cough, or he still coughed. I heard him coughing this morning. Not nearly as much as he had before. Now what happens is with the hay, if you do get hay that's dusty, what can happen is, especially the large round bales, they'll stick their nose in to get some of the good stuff, and they'll sniff in some dust and even mold. So you want to make sure that you do have clean hay, and it's it's a good quality hay, right, Hanny? Yes. Yeah. So we think he's probably about 8 or 9. Not sure, but they should last well into their teens, 13, 15. All these sheep that we've had are fairly young. Oh, are you just gonna lie down and relax, buddy? But he is, he's very good, extremely well. When we have families that come out and visit the animals, Hannibal is one of the first ones to go up and greet. Now, of course, from last weekend, people were saying, well, you should just film a bunch of these guys because they're just so funny. The noises they make. Billy? Hey? Yeah, you're a funny boy. So he's, I think he's trying to talk to the girls and say, hi, I'm a good boy, and why don't you, we'll go out for coffee or something? And Coco's like, I don't know about that. My mom told me about boys like you. So we have had goats that that won't get pregnant, which is fine. They decide whether they want to get pregnant or not. They'll run away, and they won't they won't bother with it. But if Billy or Carl can charm them enough, then maybe things will work out. So we've got the ponies. Everybody's getting along very well. Something with the ponies was the halter. So we did have a halter on Willow here. We took it off Shadow a few weeks back. But of course somebody had mentioned about making sure you take the halter off, and we managed to get that off when we put them in here. So that was good, just to make sure that when they're running around, woo, snow! When they're running around that they don't get caught on a tree or something. So here's the pond, and gee, it's only been maybe an hour, and it's already starting to ice over in that area there. So I've pulled the pond out, I've disconnected the air line to this unit here to make sure the line doesn't freeze, and pop a gasket in the top, because what that does is it aerates the pond. And there's the lighthouse. So that's been working great, loving it, and it's been lighting up this whole area. Now, the sheep that we've had over the past, we have had, you know, you do suffer some losses. We had one, it was 2, maybe even 3 years ago. I can't recall exactly, but I do remember her name was Bella. And Bella was just a small little lamb that a family had. And again, it was very similar to Lambert's situation, where they had 2 of them, I believe, 2 or even 3, and they only had one left because the other ones had passed away. So we went over and grabbed little Bella, brought her back, started to feed and try to get some nourishment in her. She seemed to be doing really well, but unfortunately the next morning she didn't make it and she passed away during the night. So that can happen. You know, it's a sad story, but you have to you know, move along and knowing that you did what you could. A few years ago, we actually had I think it was 14 or 15 male sheep come in. And we managed to rehome all of those together, which was great. There's a lot of people that want to start up hobby farms, a lot of people moving out from the city, and it's a great experience. I know a lot of you have been commenting that that's what you want to do, and follow your dreams, although it does take some time. You know, we've had this property for 21 years now, I guess. We've lived out here for past 18 years, and you just start slowly. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We will be doing, of course, more sheep shearing in the spring, and if you want to see the sheep shearing, I'll put a link in the top corner here for you to go back and have a look at that. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care. Till next video, bye-bye.